Well, I'm back. Yeah, it's been a while. I've had a roommate in and out, and he's gone right now. I don't know when he's gonna be back tomorrow. Maybe Sunday. I don't know. So I just sitting here watching some old YouTube Jeff Dunham videos. Um, we've had lousy weather here. It's been raining off and on for the last 3 or 4 days. Um, I've had a problem with my shoulder, and I don't know what it is or what I've done, but it started when I was working on my uh, U.S. Marine Corps funny car. Um, just like trying to bend it backwards and lift it up and stuff. Send shock waves of pain through my shoulder. I need to get it looked at and find out what happened because I used to be able to reach my arm all the way around my back like that, like this. I don't know if you can do it, but I can't do that now. Um, it's like it just the pain just tears me apart. Um, so I need to get that looked at. Trying to put on my sweatshirts. Um, anything over my head just kills me. So I'm dealing with that. And the weather. It's already November 21st. Um, about 10 after 8. So I'm just sitting here messing around. I bought a camcorder tape recorder or camera from a couple today. Got a real good price on that. Real nice people. They were out traveling. Very nice motorhome. I'd love to have one that small. I don't like the big ones, and I don't like the fifth wheels or the pull behinds. Because as I was telling him, uh, I've been trucking all over the country, and um, that was him there. Um, I've seen people in windstorms pulling them too fast. You know, they start doing this going down the road on the fifth wheels or the pull behinds, and I've seen them flip. I've seen people try to back them up in truck stops. That how they ever got a license beyond me. Um, they had one guy right over here at the truck stop. They were from Canada, and he tried to back it up. Wound up backing up down over a curb that was about real high. They got it stuck, and they had to call Record to come get it out. Um, I prefer the you know 6 wheel little motorhomes. I don't like the big Winnebagos. 40 foot. You know bus types. I don't. That's too big for me. Uh, if I still had my dog, Spirit, I miss terribly. Um, she died of diabetes. Um, I had her since she was a pup. I got a picture of her right here. Thanks, Dick. That was my girl. Right there was my girl. That was Spirit. She's my big blood bug. I had her since she was a pup, and the dog was no trouble whatsoever. Once I got our house trained and stuff, she'd let me know when she had to go out. She'd run back and forth between the bed and the door. Hey, I got to go out. Okay. She'd bark when she wanted in. I never trained her for none of this. Um, if I had bad dreams or nightmares, she'd wake me up. Again, I never trained her for none of this. She's just a smart dog. She was a Rottweiler Shepherd mix. And, oh man, but if I closed the door and somebody knocked on that door, she went, ape, you know. And I take her for walks at the truck stop, and I got a good picture of her, me, and my daughter. And I'd have to go in and use the bathroom or get coffee or whatever. My daughter would be there. I'd tell her, guard and protect. And she wouldn't let nobody near my daughter. Um, Great dog. I miss her terribly. You know, it was hard to make the decision I had to make to put her to sleep because she got diabetes, from what I understand, what I was told. She got real sick and wouldn't go outside of the bathroom, wouldn't eat, wouldn't do nothing. She was like that for almost after I got the medication, the shots I had to give her. Um, she was like that for a couple more weeks, and I talked to my daughter. I said, I'm gonna have to take her in and have her put to sleep. I'm gonna have to because she just, this is like a Thursday or Friday, and it was gonna be sort of a long hot weekend, and she was just gonna lay there and suffer. And I couldn't stand to see her like that. So I had made the appointment, took her in, they did the thing, and I've got her ashes here. Nice can the people sent me with a sympathy card, and you know, so I've also got. Let's see, I'll get it here in a minute. Let's see, where is it? Where's it go? It's this keychain. It's got a picture of her on it. It's got her little wings. I got that for Christmas, I believe. And I got a shirt that says "In Memory of Spirit." It's got a picture of Spirit on there. Um, she was such a good dog. It's always hard to lose a dog like that. If I had one of those little motor homes, was traveling around the country, she would have been good in there. No trouble whatsoever. That dog. She was good. You know, she was playful. I'd sit there and grab her tail and tickle her, or tease her or something, and it was on. It was wrestling time. We get in wrestling matches, but I had to be careful that I didn't, pull her shoulder too hard. She was laying on her back. You know, I'd sit there and try to tickle her and stuff and wrestle with her, but I had to make sure I didn't blow her shoulder out. Um, I made her yelp a couple of times, not on purpose, because I rolled over on her paw. I'm like, I'm sorry, you know, but she was something else, man. You know, she slept wherever she wanted, and usually right up here on the bed by me, you know, and she wanted to sleep on the floor, that's fine too. But before she got sick, I figured maybe she'd like something a little more private. So I got a big closet over here, and one end of it wasn't even being used. And I put a big bed, blanket, and stuff in there for her. And, that was hard after I lost her. That, I'd take all that stuff out. But I think about her every day. You know, this keychain stays hung up with her picture on the wall. It's you know, that's probably the first time I've taken it down since I put it up there. She died 22, 2022, somewhere like that. And it's 2025. It might have been before that. I don't remember. It's been so long. Um, oh wait a minute. I know how it fell. I know exactly how it fell. Right here. Where is it paper? There. Uh, oh, sorry. It says this package contains the cremated remains of Spirit, the beloved companion of the Gregson family. She was a family dog. Um, Please accept our deepest condolences. I thought that was it. This is Noah's Art Animal Clinic, Florence. I thought I had the date on there. Well, let me see. Hold on. Let me see if the other one. Oops. Oh, sorry. Yeah, here it is. So here it is. There it is. It's right here. It's a Rainbow Bridge saying they send. Uh, let's see. This certifier that Spirit, the beloved companion of the Griffin family, was cremated on March 14th, 2022. So, you know, she, like I said, she was a great dog, and I miss my fur baby. She was so heartbroken. I was crying. My daughter was crying. Her boyfriend was crying. My daughter's grandma was crying. She took me over there. The dog weighed almost, well, close to 100 pounds. 90, 95 pounds, something like that. It might have been less. I don't remember. But anyway, but yeah, I just been sitting here watching old videos and looking at some old pictures and some of the foster homes I was in um, growing up out in California. Um, some I'd like to have if they weren't in California. I'll never move out to California. Um, too corrupt out there, way too corrupt. You know, um, they're passing all kinds of stupid laws out there. You can't have this year car, you can't have this year truck. You know, you can't have, you know, dirt bikes. They're trying to ban old cars, anything before 2000. You know, or even before that. Uh, classic cars. I got a buddy here in town that's into classic cars. I think he's out of town right now. Matter of fact, he's got a '55 Chevy, and I mean this thing's nice. And he's got a '62 Impala, and I think the other one's a '34. Um, let's see if I can find a picture of it. But he's a good friend of mine. He drives a truck. I run with him over to Indianapolis every now and then. I haven't here lately um, because of my shoulder stuff. Here's a picture of one of his cars right there. That's the one he just got done with about 3 months ago. That's his 34. Um, this is what it looked like before he repainted the car. It was like a dark, I don't even know what color it is. Um, and let's see. Um, yeah, here's his 55. Right here. That's his 55. That car used to be red and white, the classic red and white. And he does a lot of car shows. And everywhere he went, he kept saying red and white. And he wanted to change it up. Well, he did. He stripped out the whole car, put a new motor in it, digital dash, took out all the classic stuff, deleted the radio, um, and redid the whole car. And he got a lot of friends. Had a lot of people helping him out, and a lot of places to get parts. This is what the car looked like before he painted it the red and black. And the other car there's a 32. That's his brother. That was his brother's car. Um, 32 three-window coupe, something like that. I don't know. I'm not, like I said, he drives a truck. Here's his Kenworth. That's what he drives. I've been in that truck and everyone he's had since I've known him. That's been a few years. Um, his brother's 32. I think that picture was taken before or long before they put it on a trailer and went to the Indiana, the far west Indiana line to a truck stop and traded for this. That's what his brother has now. It's 47 Buick, and I mean that thing is worth some money. Um, I've seen some old pictures of it, and it's um, it was done real nice. I mean that thing probably cost more than everything I got in this room. Um, Here's his car and the other 55 there. That's his brother's 55. They both have 1955 Chevys there. And I think his brother's car is an orange peel orange. I think is the name of the paint. I'm not sure. Yeah, and there's my bike. There's my Black Betty. It's a 1999 Honda Shadow 750 I've had four bikes. I've had some good bikes and some that were, you know, sort of a pain. This blue one, so I get back to the picture. Yeah, that one there. Um, it was a Suzuki Savage 650 Savage. Yeah. It leaked like a sieve somewhere on the top of the motor, and we went riding one day, and the thing just started smoking really bad. Um, I looked online, and somebody said, "Well, there's a rubber plug on top of the motor. You got to take the valve cover type things off," and I did. And well, that was a big no. Um, it didn't fix it. Let's just say. Um, let's see. Here's another car John had. My buddy had. So another '62 Impala. That's me sitting in it. We stopped at the gas station uh, to get gas, and yeah, he's had some real nice cars. Um, you know, he's had a couple of dualies. He just, from what I understand, bought him an enclosed trailer. Um, so you know, here's a picture. They do a cavalcade over in Cincinnati. That's a picture of my daughter standing in front of his 55th cavalcade car show. They do, I think it's in January. And, you know, we we have fun. You know, we go out and do stuff and go out and eat and ride bikes together and stuff like that. But, yeah, you know, he needs me. All you got to do is text me or call me. You know, if he goes out of town, like I think he is now, the weather gets nice. I'm going to have to go over and check on his house. Um, so, but, if I'm ever doing anything on my bike or anything, motor or anything, and I have a problem and I'm not sure about it, I'll call and ask him and he'll usually help me out. It's not a problem, you know. I could go right now walking his house, nobody'd say anything. Everybody around there knows me. So, but yeah, I've just been sitting here. The weather's been crappy with the rain and um, getting cold, temperatures going up and down and stuff. Oh, my shoulder. Um, Sitting there drinking a lot of coffee. But oh god, that's good. Um, you know, it's always good to have good friends that trust you. I've helped them work on cars and rode with them in trucks and helped them out on trucking. And, uh, I can do everything pretty much on a truck except drive it. If he's on the phone and has to drop a trailer, hey, I know exactly what to do. You do your electrical, your landing gear, then your fifth wheel. You know, some people do it that way. I just try to keep it, try to put the landing gear down first. That way, before you pull that fifth wheel pin, if anything happens, that trailer's not going to drop. It's going to be sitting down on the landing gear. The electrical lines really don't have anything to do with it. It's just for the air brakes and the lights. You know, you've got to have air to that trailer because if you wind up with a air leak going down the road and you lose all your air in a semi, your brakes will lock. Um, and that would not make for a good day. Um, I've been in Kenworth and Peterbilt, Freightliners. I've been about all of them. I prefer the Peterbilt and Kenworth conventionals, and don't know if I've ever shown this, but I built models, and I built that supposed to be the hideout truck, Tyrone Malone's hideout truck, and hold his drag truck. Supposed to have a big ramp on the back. Well, I had my own ideas, and I will show you what I did. It was supposed to be a certain style, certain color, you know, so on and so forth. But let me turn this around. This is what I did. Come there. Come on. There. There. There we go. That. That is the one I built. It looks nothing like the pictures. What it's supposed to be. It's got a tilt cab, but it's sort of wonky on there. It's it was a fun build. It took a while. I had to get the paint right because I wanted to do I think it was the maroon or the gold, and dummy me forgot to put the primer under it and handling it, moving it, and it falling over stuff. Well, the paint, excuse me, got scratched. So I had to go back, sand out a bunch of stuff, and repaint the whole cab. Um, and uh, I think it turned out good. You know, I had the supposed to be the 53-foot reefer trailer I bought years ago, and it'd been white. It just been sitting up there white, and I thought, a maroon truck and a maroon trailer. Ding, 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 ding. I had the idea. So I painted the trailer and matched the truck. And so now I got a matching set. I don't know if I get that down. Let me see. I'm just playing around. Oh, come on. Let's see what we do. And then there's a trailer. It's not, it matched my truck, so that was fun. It took me a couple times to get it right, but some light, like over here it looks orange, and in this light it looks maroon. It's just a trick of light. That's all it is. Let me put it down before I drop it. I don't want to drop my trailer. Yeah, that thing was pretty easy to put together. Um, I've been doing these things since I was like 10 years old. I'm 61 now, so that tells you how long I've been building these models. You know, um, the first time I did one of these, uh, my 70 chopper. I got another one sitting there. Um, it was intimidating, to say the least. Trying to get the motor and everything right. Back over here. But yeah, so but yeah, I just like I said, been sitting here goofing off, looking at pictures, want to do some recording, but my stupid play record side of my dual cassette is not working. I don't know why. I had like a bug's nest or something in there, and I went to clean it, and ever since I've cleaned it, it hasn't worked. So I don't know what I did or what happened. I don't know if something got in there and shorted out or what, but I was looking on Facebook yesterday for one, um, and the guy was like 10 miles from me. I live in Florence, he was in Walton. Okay. He wanted a good price for the dual cassette. Same thing I've got sitting here almost. Okay. He wouldn't deliver. I was like, are you kidding me? He wouldn't take $40 for something that wasn't worth 10. And he wouldn't deliver. Um, I was like, unreal. I've run into that quite a bit, and it just aggravates the heck out of me. You know, so I'm gonna keep looking. Good luck with that. You lost out on a sale. You know, $40 in the hand's worth better than nothing. You me when I sell stuff like my ham radio or my motorcycle parts, my handlebars, my mirrors stuff. Hey, give me 75 because I know what them bars are worth. I'll throw in the mirrors. I don't care. With the ham radio, I only paid like 40 for it. So give me 40, it's yours. It's a handheld. It's right here. Little handheld radio. I got a case. I got 3 antennas. This antenna, another antenna, and a military type antenna. I've got a shoulder mic. I've got a charger for it. It does work.
For Wilmington rain and fog at 47. At Hamilton fog at 50. In Dayton light.
So, a lot of people say, well, you have to have a license. Well, the way I see it, um, the way this country's going, you're going to have a license to use the bathroom after a while. They sent me one of them damn Cola Guard things that people are telling me, well, you're going to use it and send it back and do all this in order to keep your so-and-so. Well, no, You know, they're getting pushy, and people are going, I think, going to get fed up and start pushing back, and they're not going to like it. You know, it was like that COVID thing. There was a hospital I heard of that a guy died, and it wasn't COVID. The symptoms from what I heard, even though I'm not a doctor, excuse me, sounded more like a stroke. You know, and the nurse was asked, well, what's wrong with him? Well, we don't know, but we have to say it's COVID. That blew me away. It was like they are playing with their license and messing with people's lives and lying to their people's loved ones. What's wrong with this picture? You that stuff just irritates me. You know, it just ain't. It's not right. And I mean, there's a lot. I mean, I can go on for hours. From the JFK assassination to the moon landings. You know, it's just lies, 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 and more lies, and the government does it, and they expect people to accept it. You know, um, it's unreal. You know, they figured, well, okay, let me back up. The JFK thing, okay, that was in 60. I think it was before or after I was born. I was born in 64. Um, there's a lot of people say that Oswald did it. Okay, well, he might have had something to do with it, but I think there's a lot more to it because they would not let them perform the autopsy in Dallas. Okay, people that knew something or saw something were told to shut up and not say anything, and people even died because of this. You know, for telling what they knew. Um, too many coincidental accidents people had, all of a sudden after he died. And they're saying it was something to do with Cuba and the Bay of Pigs and something like that. And, that the guy who was supposed to be in the Secret Service in the follow up car was the one that actually shot him in the head by accident. Um, that was never, they never took any testimony from that guy. People that did testify, they or were going to testify, weren't allowed to testify. Um, the doctors were made out liars. Um, it's, it just goes on and on and on. There's this conspiracy and that conspiracy. The guy on the grassy knoll, there were supposed to be like maybe 5 or 6 shooters. Um, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't there. I don't know, but this is what I'm saying is the government does this lies, and to me, it seems pretty obvious, like the Roswell thing. You know, well, we got this. It was weather balloon. It was or UFO, UFO, UFO. Oh no, it wasn't. It was a weather balloon. I mean, they changed that quick. They changed the story because too many people knew and saw, and they were threatened. The men in black suits came to Sam and told him to keep their mouth shut. No, I don't. I won't. I see something, I say something. You know, I've been working security here for, oh God, since the mid to late 80s. So, you know, I just one of the people, you're not going to intimidate me, you know, and don't let my size fool you. Believe me, I've been through too much um, in my life growing up. I've seen too much. Um, it just, you know, they say, people that snitches get stitches. Well, I'm not necessarily snitching. I'm just saying what I saw and it's the truth. You know, if they've got a problem with that, come talk to me. Deal with it. I just, I don't like seeing people get trampled, bullied or any of this. I've put a stop to that a few times with people. Um, and like my daughter. Oh no, you don't want to mess with my daughter. Not with me around. No, I'm very protective of my daughter. She she does good. She's got a job. She minds her own business. You know, she gets up, goes to work in the morning, comes home in the afternoon. You know, she's my pup. You don't mess with my pup. You know, but Well, yeah, like I said, I've just been sitting there looking at old pictures and wanted to listen to music. I want to do some more recording, but I've got to tear this whole stereo system down to find out what's wrong with stupid cassette deck because I got to take it apart. I got to take covers off it. I got to move my models. I've got to unplug my stereo. I got to pull the auxiliary cords off. It's like I want to do it, but I don't. So I figured, well, either I can find a new one or somebody will work with me on Facebook that's got one, dual cassette, um, or I just try to fix this one. Um, you know, it sucks, but I've been watching a lot of YouTube, and if I don't know anything about something, I'll look it up on Google or YouTube or whatever, like the um, ham radios, stereo systems, how to repair them, stuff like that. Which that gives me a good idea. I might do that. Get this model number name. It's a Kenwood KXW 594. 594. Yeah, 594. Um, Look it up, see if I can find anything about them on YouTube. Um, but yeah, you know. But like I said, I've been looking at old pictures. There was a group home in California that would make a nice house. Um, I don't know if it's empty now or it's been sold, but it's got some big rooms. It's got staff bedroom, three other bedrooms, plus another bedroom in the back. That's the way it was when I lived there. But now you look at the pictures and all the rooms are empty. Um, they've redone the landscape on the front. The back looks absolutely horrible. The pool's there; it's completely empty. It's just the deck that was there is gone. Um, and I mean, it'd make a nice big house for somebody with a big family, you know. Um, but you know, I'm not paying $45,000 for a house, and especially if it's in California. Like I said, I won't move back here. Was born there, raised there. No, not moving back here. Um, I just, I like it here too much. Plus, I couldn't stand leave my daughter. She would never forgive me for that. But yeah, it's Friday night, so I don't know. I'm just sitting here trying to think what to do. I might just I get done with this, which has been on for about 40 minutes. Um, Go on YouTube on my TV, which is right over here, the big TV. Um, it don't look so big on the screen. Um, and see if I can look up anything on this cassette deck. Uh, I've seen other guys doing on DVD players and CD players and stuff, but I've never looked up one for a dual cassette deck on this model. It's a Kenwood, but I'll look it up and see what I can find. I might poke around with that. But I always look forward to Thursday and Friday on YouTube because my two channels I watch, um, Twin Six Garage and on Thursday, and then Mike the Truck Nut on Friday. Um, I love watching them guys, but you know, so I got a lot to do and no motivation to do it really. I got stuff I got to clean up, garbage I got to take out. I'm just, it's been raining and nasty and stuff, and I haven't been riding my bike because of my shoulder. Something like that hurts my shoulder. Um, so Well, I guess I'm going to end it here and get on YouTube and poke around and see what's going on in the media world. So, you all have a good evening. Be careful. Have a nice weekend and be good to each other. And if you could, leave me a like and some comments, please. Have a good weekend.